Well, let's now bring in lawyer Jide Ologun, who joins me live on the news for more. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ologun. In this case, is it enough to say the case is actually over when additional charges were filed against Dele Farotimi?
Now the major complainant is pulling out of the matter, and then the prosecutor may still have the leverage to say, let's go ahead with other charges. But basically, the charge of criminal defamation is being dropped now by the complainant on the instance of respecting the traditional rulers' interventions. And I think I commend that. And when you talk about criminal defamation, what Section 375 of the Criminal Code Act says is that any person who publishes any defamatory matter is guilty of misdemeanor and liable to imprisonment for 1 year. And any defamatory matter printed knowing it to be false, you're liable to 2 years imprisonment. But now that the complainant is saying, I'm no longer interested in this matter, we expect that the case will be dropped, except for other charges that may be pressed against him. But let me say this clearly, I must respect the intervention of the traditional rulers in having this matter resolved. And then I have alluded in the past, in the case of Igboho, I mean, many would have wondered how was Igboho released when he was held back in Benin Republic, when he was trying to get out of the country. And this is a lesson that people from other regions of the nation can learn. But by and large, when the complainant says, I'm not interested, then the matter should be, put in abeyance.
I hear you, Mr. Ologun.
So,
okay, as it is now, within the last 11 hours, Dele Farotimi has made at least 8 posts on his official handle on X, but none of these posts has explicitly addressed this issue. How do you think, he is or will take, the withdrawal of this case by Afe Babalola?
From the body language of Dele, who even wept after being released on bail, it's been a tough flight for him. Because if you look at Section 131 of the Evidence Act 2011, it makes it clear that when you allude to some facts before the court of law, the burden of proof is on you. And he's been confronted that these defamatory remarks that you have printed, can you back them up? And that is why I took the time to refer us to Section 375 of the Criminal Code Act. And then when you talk about fame, fame is something that the learned soul has earned over the year. Fame is a favorable public reputation and the state of being held in high esteem and honor. And the most important asset of every business is its reputation. That is jealous. So, but now, as it is, it may appear that Dele Farotimi may not be able, and please underscore, may not be able to justify the allegations he has made. Even though, generally speaking, in Nigeria, many have alluded to corruption in that sector. But this has become specific allegations that you need to prove. And I think in defending his fame, the learned field has gone to the law enforcement agents to intervene. And right now, the elders in the land and the traditional institution has stepped in, not just the Oni of Ife, but other things went with him to consult Afe Babalola.
All right.
Conceded to their plea that, okay, we will pull out of the matter.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Ologun, but as it is, should Dele Farotimi, stick to his guns and believe he has done nothing wrong and, refuse to take this olive branch, as it were? What are the possibilities? What could happen?
If he does that, then he should be prepared to prove those allegations. It's very clear. The case of Shure is going on now, who was granted administrative bail, and he is saying he does not need a bail because the conditions are strenuous for him to get a level 17 civil servant and other conditions. And he's being kept by the police. But you see, all this will end somewhere, you know. For Dele Farotimi, I think for what he has gone through in the hands of the law enforcement agent at the time he was brought to court in handcuffs. And let me say this, the sentiments of citizens may not affect these matters. So for now, I think you should just play along because it appears that this learned suit has his own case to prove in courts.
All right.
And when you talk about the criminal justice value chain, we talk about thorough investigation, diligent prosecution before committed judiciary. And from what some of us have read, it may be a very long walk for Dele Farotimi to prove those specific allegations.
All right.
But let's just and see what his response will be. And if he rejects this olive branch, that means he's prepared to proceed with the prosecution. And we see where that comes, because again,
Yes.
the Constitution of Nigeria says that the accused is presumed innocent until the allegations are proved beyond all reasonable doubt.
I
So
hear you,
it's
Mr.
indeed a
Ologun.
journey.
It's a good way to leave the conversation. Lawyer and public relations consultant Jide Ologun, thank you very much for your time on TVC News at 10.
God bless Nigeria.